Today I really want to talk about one of my favorite movies. This movie is probably one of the movies that I quote the most. The movie I'm talking about today is Galaxy Quest. There will be spoilers. I'll give a general idea of the movie with like minimal spoilers until the warning, and then it's full on spoilers from there. So if you want to watch up until that point, watch the movie, then come back and watch the rest so nothing gets spoiled for you. Before we go any further, I do have to say, rest in peace, Alan Rickman. Such a fucking legend. And this movie, he is great. It's a cult classic for sure. One that me and my dad can watch anytime together. It's a comedy without being like forced funny. It's like a sci-fi movie without being cheesy, with it being made in 1999. But it's using practical effects, miniatures. They even built the set on a rig so that it actually shook the whole room around and gave that like real look and feel, and not just the camera shaking about and the actors like jiggling. They genuinely shook the room around. It was like almost 8.0 magnitude earthquake. So with the mix of the effects and that soundtrack, the movie just came out great. With just like a small budget of $40 million, they were able to make, profit of $70 million, but that wasn't, the blockbuster that they thought and hoped it would be, but it definitely wasn't a flop. But yeah, it just really wasn't promoted properly, as well as like coming out on the same weekend as Green Mile and Stuart Little. It had a tough opening weekend, but it definitely picked up popularity by its second weekend, and it held up in the top 10 box office for the next 2.5 months until it left theater. So it definitely was popular. But yeah, I still run into people that have never watched it because they thought it was just like a parody film. And I mean, if you watch the trailer, that's definitely what you would get from it. So yeah, I have to say that it is definitely not a parody. The idea of the movie came from a guy who heard something that was being narrated by Leonard Nimoy, and he thought, oh hey, that's Spock. So he wrote a screenplay about a guy who was like Spock, that was stuck in that pigeonholed sci-fi role and couldn't get out of it, but he got obsessed with sci-fi and other worlds and other dimensions. And in this process, he accidentally opened like a portal into another world and went there. And then the Captain Kirk of this screenplay was going to be recruited by the inhabitants of the planet or dimension that the Spock like character took over. And like they came to Earth to ask Captain Starshine. Yes, Captain Starshine.
They're Captain Starshine.
They had the script called Captain Starshine.
To like get their planet back from this evil Emperor Ming like character that the Spock like guy had become. Luckily they scrapped all that. The Alan Rickman is not the villain. He's not the bad guy at all. There's a banter. He definitely has the Spock like feel, but that was the original concept idea. But yeah, luckily they completely scrapped that. Now the movie itself is still that concept idea of these actors from a TV show getting pigeonholed and stuck in one role and unable to move away from it. Just that's what their lives are. That there would be types that would love it, like Shatner, just thrive off of it, and then there would be some that would grow to resent the show and hate that role that they're stuck in, hate their signature phrase. We are at Galaxy Quest. Now it's that, but it's flash forward, from the show being done and canceled. They're doing events like conventions and gigs and little opening things just to pay the bills, and can't really find another role, maybe some side gigs here and there, but nothing conclusive and the same as what the show itself was. And then they find out the whole thing's real. The ship, the planets, well, kind of. There's aliens, and you're stuck trying to help them. Major spoilers from here. Do not continue unless you have seen it or you don't care and you just want to hear me talk about it. So our main character is going to be Tim Allen, and he really at this point in time had just got done doing Tool Time, so it wasn't that long after it canceled. And he did have that genuine fear of being stuck in a role and being pigeonholed, but he luckily got Toy Story and the Santa Claus movies, so he didn't. But he did know that general fear of being stuck in there, and he could relate to the character. So once he read the script, he was all in and had kind of an idea of how he wanted to play it. But the way that it was originally written was he was supposed to play it kind of as this grumpy, guy that was mad, but he pointed out the fact that he was the captain, so he would have loved it. It would have been his glory days. Kind of like a football player talking about his quarterback time. Like,
whew, your commander is on deck. Ha ha. Wow.
Time. Like, that was the time of his prime. So, of course, he's going to love still living in the glory of that at all these conventions and events. He's still living that glory day. So they rewrote it for him so that he'd almost be obnoxious with his loving of it. And then he has this moment in the movie where he gets, like, destroyed by these guys talking badly about him in the bathroom.
Bunch of losers! Begging for autographs at $15 a pop? These guys haven't had a real acting job for 20 years. This is all they've got.
Dude, did you check out Nesmith? He actually gets off on those retards thinking he's a space commander. Oh, and his friends?
I know! They can't stand him! Did you hear him ragging on him in there?
Dude, he has no idea. He's a laughing stock. What did you do with his face?
And he drinks his sorrow away until he passes out, which is probably a regular thing, but they definitely drive up the whole he's, like, kind of destroyed in the bathroom scene.
It's just a television show. That's all, okay?
Also, during this whole time, there's a little bit of a slight miscommunication and a mix-up during the convention. For one of his gigs, he gets intercepted by the aliens.
Excuse me?
I must speak to you. It is a matter of supreme importance. We are Thermians from the Klaatu Nebula, and we need your help.
Is this about the gig tomorrow? Just hammer out the details with my agent and make sure there's a limo at my house.
So, they get his limo.
We have secured our limousine.
What? This is the thing.
You know, evidently we had a little miscommunication regarding the voyage.
He passes out in the limo while they are heading off for his help to save them. When he wakes up, he's already on the ship. He was asleep. He doesn't.
I'm sorry to wake you, sir, but your presence is requested on the command deck.
He doesn't realize that he's on a ship. He just thinks it's a really fancy setup, that these guys must be really big super fans. And he doesn't take it seriously at all.
Set it on screensaver 2.
Saying, fire left cannons, fire right cannons.
Fire blue particle cannons full, red particle cannons full. Gannett magnets, fire them left and right, and let them run. All shoot them while you're at it once. Yeah, toss that at him, killer. That should take care of old lobster head, shouldn't it?
Completely disregarding the situation. Then, I was like, all right, I need to go home. I got another gig.
Where are you going?
Home.
You mean Earth?
Yeah, Earth. Time to get back to Earth, kid.
But the negotiations you fired on him.
Yeah. Long live, what was your planet called?
Thermia.
Long live Thermia. This way?
Teleportation pad back home. That's when he finally realizes, has his moment of shock, that it, is real. But it doesn't hit him still on what he's done, the seriousness of the situation. He's just excited. He's really the captain. The ship is real.
Remember yesterday at the convention? Those people dressed like aliens? They were aliens. They were termites or Dalmatians. I can't really remember because I was kind of hungover. But what they built was extraordinary. It was a huge spaceship. I got to fight this guy named Sarah and I kicked his ass.
So he goes to find his crew, but after, all this time from the show, they've definitely grown to hate him and they don't take him seriously. They just think he's still drunk or on something. They go to take off until one of them mentions about, he offered him a gig and how often does he really do that? So maybe they should just take it. And being the actors that they are, they're like, gig? Oh yeah, I guess I didn't think of it that way. And they go to try and find him, finding one solo alien there and waiting for them. They get taken to the ship. They still don't really have any idea of what's going on, but this is when they figure it out. Sam Rockwell tags along for the ride. He has a random role. Love him in this, but totally random that he tags along. And at this point, they are all in shock, except for Tony. I love Tony throughout this whole movie. This whole stoner vibes thing he gives off is just perfect. He's just chill and snacking the whole time. It's great. Now everyone's on the ship, and it's real, and it's all wow and all amazing, and they're being given a tour. None of them have any clue what's going on, and Tim Allen's still not taking any of it seriously. I don't think he even listened to what was happening the first time he was there when he fired on somebody. He has no idea. He's just happy to be the captain. I seriously love that. Like, if you like think about it, he's on the ship and just like, look, it's so cool. And they're like, oh wow. But like, they have no clue the situation that they're in at this point. They have no clue. None whatsoever. The crew's a little freaked out, trying to figure out what's going on. So this is where the whole crew finally meets Cyrus. Tim still not taking it seriously, not getting that his crew are not actually a crew, they're actors, and they have no idea what they're doing. They manage to mess everything up, and somehow they manage to lose the bad guys, but they break the ship in the process. It's just hilarious, the fact that Tim Allen doesn't take any bit of it seriously, while the crew is definitely knowing that they are out of their element, but they're stuck in this situation at this point. So they manage to find a planet that has what they need to fix their ship, and they head down. Sam and Tony are hilarious in this scene, all around. I love them. Sam Rockwell does his best channeling Bill Paxton like a boss in the scene as the guy that dies before the commercial break. It's amazing. He does such a good job on that. I love them. I really do. They end up finding an alien race on this planet and unsure if they're friendly or not, so they're debating on if they should go up.
Hey, there's the guy! Did you guys ever watch the show?
It's when they lose sight of them, so they try to go get what they need to fix the ship and kind of get ambushed by this alien creatures. The rest of them manage to get away. Meanwhile, Tim's stuck on the planet, and there is a deleted scene that they cut out of the movie that I wish they would have left in with the rock monster that really develops that rock monster just a little bit more.
See, that's your problem, Jason. You were never serious about the craft.
I am a rock. I just want to be a rock. Still, peaceful, and tranquil. Ugh. What's this noise? No, it's movement. Vibrations. Make the vibrations stop. They cut through me like a knife. I must crush the thing that makes the vibrations.
Am I crazy or do you have something there?
Moving and it's still coming towards me. What is it?
And then a happy ending later on, but they cut it out. So Tony has to beam him up, which leads to my second most quoted saying.
And it exploded.
The pig lizard, though, was actually like all made out of practical effects, and it was like operated by one guy in there, like kicking around. Stan Winston did their effects. He even made like the alien suits as well as Cyrus, the like evil monster guy. He had a bunch of servos to help operate the spines on the top of his head, his face, and the back spines. So yeah, at this point now, Tim's gotten teleported up and yay, everything's good, right? No, wrong. While everyone's down on the planet and distracted trying to save Tim Allen, Cyrus and his goons have taken over the ship. They've killed all the Thermians on the main base except for what's left on the ship, and they're now planning on killing them. They tell you the whole plan and then like leave. Isn't that what they do in a lot of them? The typical bad guy. Self-destruct, cut all the oxygen, tell you all of my plans. and leave some underlings here to guard you. So they get away from the little underlings that are left to guard them, and they break up into their different groups. One to stop the self-destruct, one to get to the controls room, and one to help from all of the oxygen being sucked out. They all spring to action to get their ship back. Sigourney at this point mentions again, they don't know anything. They are just actors, which I have not talked about her up until this point much. She's great. I love every minute of her in this. My dog that I used to have, I hate to say that, but I used to say he was the Sigourney Weaver of the house from that movie. He has one job to do in this house. It's stupid, but he's gonna do it.
No, we have no extra beryllium sphere on board.
You know, that is really getting annoying.
Look, I have one job on this lousy ship. It's stupid, but I'm gonna do it, okay?
When they cling glasses, we pour beer, a little toast from the moon with some New York flair.
But I love you, Sam. Have a drink for me, because we're on a quest
to the galaxy.
But yeah, once she heard about this movie, she actually actively sought it out. She really, really wanted to do the role. And I love the fact that she was down for it. So Tim, knowing that they don't know anything about the ship either, but they do have super fans that know everything and always quote everything to him and ask him a million questions. And at the one con, he accidentally switched comms with one of his super fans. He technically has direct contact to one of them, and they're very, very, very lucky. And that Justin Long, who this is his first movie appearance, he had like a random TV show appearance or two before this, but this was his real big first break, happens to be around and hear it and saves them. And this is where you start to get some of that dumb fun of like the ship was made from a TV show that they watch. And there's a lot of random nonsense that doesn't make sense in the show. Yes, she does say, fuck that, but it was dubbed over to get a PG rating. During this time, the superfans kind of theorize what the Omega-13 is. He manages to guide them to the button, which, again, TV hijinks, stops at 1 second. Also during this time, Tony and Sam are doing their part, and they literally have the best chemistry during these scenes. I love these two together. They play off each other so perfectly, and this is another one. Although I do wish they left in that, again, that deleted scene during this. I'll put in another part. They talk about it in the special features even, that like it would have given that like extra element to the rock monster. This was his happy ending right here. Meanwhile, Alan Rickman at this time went off with a Thermian Quill to help save the rest of the Thermians, kind of bonded with him over the time. Quill gets mortally wounded, so Alan Rickman finally says his signature phrase with like true intent.
Like the sons of Orvan, you shall be avenged.
And it's a cute scene of him embracing, you know, that long time thing that he's hated because of this Thermian that he had bonded with, and he rage attacks the goon alien that killed him. Through all this, they managed to get their ship back. Cyrus takes chase. Little Laredo at this time has been practicing flying and has actually gotten pretty good at it. He manages to help destroy Cyrus's ship. And at this point, I actually want to say, on a sad note, that actor Laredo, that was one of his last movies he did for a really long time. He got into a bad motor vehicle accident and he's actually in a wheelchair for life. He started acting again. He uses the wheelchair with his roles, promoting disability and still being able to get around.
I'm an actor, producer, director, and a disability advocate, all from my wheelchair. You tell me what's impossible, I'll show you what's possible. Go to KesslerFoundation.org, where only abilities matter.
At this point, it's time to go home. They've saved the day, but they get attacked by Cyrus, who managed to get to their ship disguised as Tony. So Tim activates the Omega-13, and the superfans were right. It's like a time portal that takes him back, so he's able to save the day and the rest of the crew. They have to separate, and the superfans yet again save the day. They direct the crew to the convention hall that they're supposed to be at. They make a crash landing or a grand entrance to the stage, and they're happy. They get their happy ending. The TV show comes back on the air. They've talked multiple times about doing a sequel, and I wish that they would. I know it wouldn't be the same with Alan Rickman. I'm not even sure how they would do that without him, but it would still be cool nonetheless. A lot of the characters had a good banter, but the way that Tim Allen and Alan Rickman just bounced off each other, they had that polar opposite, but still just that great combination. Seriously, it's such a good movie. I think everyone should watch it. You would not regret it at all. I'm hoping the rumors are true and they'll still make a sequel. Fingers crossed. You never know. If you got here and you enjoyed it, you should put my top quoted line, which is
Never give up, never surrender,
in the comments. I will see you next time. Bye, bye. Thanks for watching me and my cringe.
In the far reaches of the galaxy, a civilization is under siege.
We are all that is left.
They've searched the universe for a leader.
Stay tuned for scenes from next week's Galaxy Quest.
never give up, never surrender.
He will save us.
What they got
Never give up and never surrender.
were struggling TV actors.
You are our last hope.
Where's my limo?
Okie dokie.
And they're about to put on a command performance 8 million light years away.
We are actors, not astronauts.
You are our protectors.
That was a hell of a thing.
Now,
Laredo, take us out.
You gotta move to the right.
Would you sit your ass down? You want to drive this to...
acting like heroes
The whole thing was just a misunderstanding.
may not be enough.
They look like little children. Hi, little guy.
Oh, darn.
DreamWorks Pictures presents Tim Allen, Sigourney Weaver, Alan Rickman, Galaxy Quest.
You're just gonna have to kill him.
We'll go for the mouth, the throat, his vulnerable spots.
It's a rock. It doesn't have any vulnerable spots.